Now available in paperback. Those who refuse the gift of eternal life are condemned to wander in the darkness of eternal night. Get your copy of Eternal Night at online booksellers today. Some individuals who cry colorism want to say that I only write light-skinned characters because of characters I've written like Isis Esteem and Matilda Crowley. Now, while I've written light-skinned characters, I have also written brown-skinned characters. However, many of the colorists won't take the time to go check out the books featuring brown-skinned black characters that I have written. Now, the first book I wrote with a brown-skinned character was way back in 2009 when I started the SJS Direct imprint. And that book, All About Marilyn, was all about Marilyn Marie, a faded former teen sitcom star of a show called All About Nikki, who was trying to rebuild her life after her career in Hollywood fell completely apart. And this book chronicled the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood, and it was very critically acclaimed by a lot of book clubs, and was a book that the president of my college liked, and people really liked the All About Marilyn story. However, many of the colorists won't even look at this book or the original cover, which featured a brown-skinned black woman, or the Refresh book, which also featured the image of a brown-skinned black woman. No, they cry colorism over other characters I have done, like Isis and Matilda Crowley, but won't look at Marilyn Marie, who was a part of the first full SJS Direct book. And this book featured, again, a black woman and featured the image of a black woman prominently on both of its covers, but most of the colorists won't even pay this book any attention. Now, the second book that I did with a brown-skinned black woman was The Thetas in 2013, and in this inspiring, uplifting, sophisticated sorority story about Colleen Anderson, I was inspired by actress Robin Givens, a black woman, to create the Colleen character way back in 1989, and I finally got to do a story with this character where I showed how she was pledging this Theta sorority and learning about the legacy of her mother. Now, the Colleen character is featured prominently on the cover of Isis Legacy, but her story started in the Thetas, and the story of the Thetas was all about Colleen learning about her family's legacy with the Theta sorority, and this was a story that was all filled with brown-skinned black women. But again, the colorists won't come and look at this book because they want to get into the light-skinned, dark-skinned straw man argument. Now, the third book that I wrote that featured a brown-skinned black woman was 2020's Eternal Night. And in 2020's Eternal Night, I was inspired to create the Lilith Graves character from the late singer Aaliyah. Now, the late singer Aaliyah was the inspiration for Lilith Graves, the daughter of a pastor who becomes a vampire as she gets involved with a goth musician. And the Lilith Graves character, a black goth, is one that became a vampire and is a major character in the SJS Direct universe. Now, a lot of people, again, the colorists will come out here and say everything is about light-skinned characters like Isis and Esteem, but they don't see the other brown-skinned characters, and they don't even see how I give a lot of the brown-skinned characters richer and more complex stories than I have given some of these light-skinned or biracial characters. Because in the case of Marilyn Marie, she gets one of the richest and most complex stories as related to her struggles as a black actress. And with the Colleen character, she gets a story that really shows the love of sorority sisters and the love of the black family, and shows us a positive image of a black father. I mean, she gets a really rich story. And in the case of Eternal Night, Lilith Graves gets one of the best horror stories I believe I have written. It's got a lot of depth and a lot of layers. And sadly, most people are so caught up in the color of a character's skin that they can't really see the content of their character. And what's even sadder than that is that with these colorists, they're so caught up in light skin and dark skin that they don't pay attention to many of the brown skin characters on the SJS Direct imprint. And that is the saddest thing that I see with a lot of these colorists. They will get upset about an image of a light-skinned character like an Isis or an Esteem or the descriptions of a Matilda Crowley, but they will ignore a Marilyn Marie or a Colleen Anderson or a Lilith Graves. I mean, all three of these characters you will ignore because you're caught up in color, not in the content of their character. And it just, again, shows me how a lot of these colorists, they sit there and say, oh, it's light skin and dark skin, when actually it's a straw man argument because they don't want to read anything that is written by a heterosexual black man. And again, this is the narrative they love to push because they want to find an excuse to avoid supporting the work of a black male writer who is heterosexual. They don't want to support that work. So what they do is start creating the straw man argument of light skin and dark skin, not ever looking at many of the brown skin characters. And again, sometimes I wind up having to deal with this whole issue, and it really makes me upset. And again, sometimes I look at things and it's really interesting to me. When I don't put images of black people on the covers, people will buy them. But when I put images of black people on them, this is when we get into the colorist issues. And it really shows me that a lot of people, again, they really don't, when it comes down to black content, it's about the narrative, it's about them looking to gain brownie points with white people, like I talk about in Spellbound, and they want to get the brownie points with white people because they're looking for a white person to validate something. That's something else I've noticed, again, about people out here. They need, in order for them to support black content, they need a white person to support it. And what a lot of these colorists don't know is that I have white customers in the past that have bought my content, and I'm not looking for their validation or their approval. I just want to go out here and put together great stories, and I want to put together great stories about black people and diversify the black book market, and I want to be able to do that without having to deal with stuff like light skin and dark skin, because I want people to see the content of great black characters and not be so caught up in the color of their skin that they cannot see that I'm trying to give you a story about the black experience that gives you a broader and richer picture of black culture. And again, when I go out here, I want to show people a rich, diverse picture of black culture and the spectrum of people, regardless of skin tones. And again, I want to go beyond skin tones and show you people. And it's not just about just light skin and dark skin or natural hair. It's about showing you great characters and showing you great characters, showing you great stories about black America and showing you a richer and bigger picture of black people. Now, if you want to pick up the books that feature brown skin characters like Marilyn Marie, Colleen Anderson, and Lilith Graves, you can find all about Marilyn, the Thetas, and Eternal Night at online booksellers like Amazon.com, Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Target. And if you want to see me continue to be able to produce positive black stories about the black experience, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today.